All right. Well, unfortunately, our former President Trump is in some hot water with New York. He seems to always be in hot water with New York. They really have a hard on for him. They're really trying to get him. But now they're going after his assets. So I don't know. I'm going to read this article. This article here is from ABC News, an ABC News affiliate. They, hey, Joe, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, buddy. Uh, yeah, they're probably skewed as far as what they think about Trump, left leaning. Probably not going to like him, but I'll read this article and we'll see what they have to say about it. So, Donald Trump's appeared in a New York court for his fraud trial. Here's what happened on day one. Donald Trump is fighting a civil lawsuit that could cost the former U.S. president control of some of his most. That's a bad, poorly written article, I think. Control of some of his most prized properties and his freedom to do business in New York. He's already been found guilty of fraud unless he wins an appeal. He could be forced to give up properties, including Trump Tower. Unlike the four criminal trials he separately faces, Mr. Trump generally don't. I hate that, Mr. Trump. Uh, just I don't know. I don't like the Mr. Trump. He was the president, so I feel like he deserves a little bit more credit than that. But anyways, Mr. Trump generally avoids appearing at civil hearings. His decision to show up this time shows how seriously he's taken this case. Again, this article is written pretty poorly. I guess they don't have an editor. Good job, ABC News. His sons are also defendants in the trial, which could have huge ramifications for the New York business empire he was famous for prior to his presidency. The judges already found Trump committed fantasy world fraud. So I'll give you a very quick synopsis. They're trying to say that he's inflating the value of his properties to use as leverage to buy other properties or just in general to inflate his net worth. I guess for in these cases, somebody that has obviously if you're looking to get more property or to uh, get more assets, whether it be stocks, anything like that, you need to show that you have value in the properties that you have. So they're just trying to say that he's been inflating the value of his properties for years, which may or may not be true. I don't to the tune of what they're saying. Don't I don't agree. But so last week, New York Supreme Court Judge Arthur Engoron ruled that Mr. Trump committed fraud for years while building his real estate empire. He deceived banks, insurers, and others by overvaluing his assets and exaggerating his net worth on paperwork used in making deals and securing loans. In defendants' world, rent regulated apartments are worth the same as unregulated apartments. Restricted land is worth the same as unrestricted land. Restrictions can evaporate into thin air, the judge wrote. That is the fantasy world, not the real world. So Judge Engoron ordered that some of Mr. Trump's business licenses be rescinded, effectively stopping them from doing business in New York. A punishment legal experts and Mr. Trump himself are calling a corporate death penalty. So it's funny how for years it was fine when he was New York's sweetheart, as the real estate tycoon of New York. No problem. In the 80s when he kind of helped reinvigorate New York and Manhattan, that was fine. No problem. If he's doing that, no problem. Now suddenly you got a hard on to get him. It just shows that it's it just shows that it's all corrupt. Anyways, we knew this was all going to happen anyway. They're going to go after everything, anything they can. They're going to throw every kitchen sink at this guy. It's not even it's laughable at this point. So the former president's property and business empire is now on the line. While the judge has already found that fraud has been committed, he still has to rule on 6 other claims. They include allegations of conspiracy, falsifying business records, and specific insurance fraud. The non-jury trial also has to consider the question of punishment. Again, this is a civil case, so civil cases are kind of a joke. It falls down to a judge, and they can just make a bad ruling, and wow, great, awesome. The New York Attorney General Letitia James is seeking at least $250 million in fines. She also wants a permanent ban against Mr. Trump and his sons Donald Jr. and Eric from running businesses in New York, and a 5-year commercial real estate ban against Mr. Trump and the Trump Organization. He should have pulled out of there years ago. Should have got out of that dumpster fire of New York. So I'm not going to read more of this article, but I'll give you a little synopsis of part of what they were talking about was the Mar-a-Lago property. They valued the Mar-a-Lago property at something like 18 to 20 million, which is just a complete joke. the property brings in just in income or just in revenue, I mean, per year, it brings in like 29 million. So if you know anything about real estate valuations or business valuations, you'd know that even a conservative, like a very conservative investor, someone who's really, really stringent on the numbers, would still value a business um, just based on the revenue alone at anywhere from 6 to 10 times value. So per annual. So let's just say 10 for easy math. That's $290 million alone, but just based on the revenue of the business. You're not even factoring any of the value of the property, uh, historic value, anything that this property that might be valued at. So it's obvious that they're just playing games. This is just a complete clown show. You, Again, I'm not like a staunch Trump supporter, but come on. I think anybody with half sense can see that this is actually a big witch hunt against this guy. This isn't a real. These aren't real trials against him. This is banana republic stuff. So until this kind of stuff ends, how can you take any of it seriously? They're just going to have to just do what you have to do. Get get the right guy on the Democratic side to actually go against Trump and be legit instead of this bullshit they're trying here.